The Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 77 years has been the capital of speed. These long straightaways and mildly banked turns have beckoned man with a single challenge: run faster. Speed is the essence. But last year, the reward of speed was disaster. Car after car, driver after driver found himself a helpless passenger. For some, the results of speed were painful days in a hospital. But this year has been the safest ever. A week of practice with only 2 small incidents. The main reason for the speed and safety are the tires. And Rick Mears, now searching for a 3rd Indy win, threw down the challenge as he poked the nose of his Penske through the 220-mile-an-hour barrier early in the week. It was the same each day. And yesterday, he ended the practice with a lap at 221.456 miles an hour. But Mears is not alone past 220. Each day, Mario Andretti has kept pace with Mears, running faster and faster. Mario can tell you 221 miles an hour is very fast.
You have a pretty good idea because looking at the numbers on my tach coming off the corners, obviously that spells speed. And knowing just how quickly I arrive at certain points, I knew that I was there quicker than I ever had experienced before. So that's important. That's the tip right there.
Mario spent his week above 220, and yesterday ended practice with a speed identical to Rick. But can that speed be repeated?
If the sun shines, I don't think we can reproduce 221 for qualifying. However, if we get any little bit of overcast, beautiful cloud up there, we might just be able to reproduce it.
It'll all be decided today in the run for the pole.
Your attention, please. The track is open for qualification.
And the engine has fired on the very first car to qualify for time trials for the 72nd running of the Indianapolis 500. And it is none other than Mario Andretti. His white Lola car number 6 is ready to go. I'm Paul Page with Bobby Unser, and Bobby, being on the pole, being first, is extremely important.
It's always been important at Indianapolis. This is the biggest, greatest race in the world, Paul. It's very important, and it's always been important, especially to this man, Mario Andretti, who was lucky enough to draw number 1 today.
Tyler Alexander, the team manager, Tony Cicality, their aerodynamicist, watch and step aside as Mario Andretti rolls out on the racetrack, ready for a qualification attempt, the very first one in time trials at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is a complex process, and to explain it is Jackaroo.
Paul, it's unique in world motorsports. What you do here is go through this line through tech inspection, and then you present yourself to qualify. Then you're allowed not 1 or 2 laps to qualify, the better of the 2 being your qualifying speed. You're required to turn in 4 consecutive laps, 10 miles around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. At any time during those 4 laps, you are allowed to waive off your qualifying attempt. But remember, you only get 3 tries with each car. So there's a lot happening down here, and there's a lot of pressure. For more on the mood, let's turn to my colleague, Brian Hammonds. Brian?
Jack, there was a lot of excitement in Mario's pits in practice this morning. Raul Boisel spun right behind Mario, hit the wall in turn 4. Andretti came through unscathed. He went on to run 18 hot laps, his best being clocked at better than 220 miles per hour. Mario said after practice he was happy with his outing. But then Rick Mears goes out, does 222. He's got to be thinking about that right now. Paul?
So Mario Andretti picks up the speed on the main straightaway. He has 2 laps to run before he starts his 4-lap qualification run. So now, as he heads into the second turn, he is just a little over a half a lap away from taking the green flag on this very first qualification run. And what a Cinderella story, a storybook here. Mario Andretti, who has been so fast all week, Bobby Unser, to be the very first man to qualify. But with the heat of the day, will that hurt him?
No, Paul, right now it's still very cool. I was just outside, and it's still a little bit nippy. Not hot, not cold. The sun has not had time enough to warm the pavement up.
The green flag in the hands of the starter, Dwayne Sweeney, and Mario Andretti has begun a qualification attempt, the very first one at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Carefully down into that first turn. You can almost tell how fast Mario is capable of driving by how close he comes to the wall. He slingshots out and comes within inches.
Now he'll try harder right now during qualifications to use all of the racetrack than he ever will in the race. If you watch when he comes out of the turn, he gets very close to the wall, very close going in to get his apex just exactly right. Into turn 3, out very close to the wall in the short chute.
Mario Andretti steers it off of number 4. There's a little extension of the wall where the wall moves out 6 inches. Mario once told me that on a run like this, he will put the right rear tire up in that 6 inches. The first lap is now complete as Mario Andretti flies across the line. On lap number 2, the first lap at 217.014 miles an hour. The single lap track record is 217.581. So Mario Andretti is running slightly below the track record.
Well, but he's still a little bit what could be, or above what could be the average, Paul. They don't have as many warm-up laps as they used to have. They're one shy, and it takes these cars a little bit. It's like a flywheel to get up to speed. It takes a little bit of momentum to go.
As Mario Andretti approached turn 3 on that last lap, he was traveling at 225 miles an hour. That should be the fastest speed. There is Mario's crew as they give him a board with information, though in reality, Bobby, about all Mario can do is lock his knee, put his foot to the ground, and hope that it comes fast.
That's slower, Paul. This lap is 215. My guess is what Mario will do is they'll just opt to call this off and go out a little bit later. Maybe the wind changed just a little bit, although we have very little breeze right now, but he might just opt to go on about 5 o'clock.
215.059 miles an hour on the second lap. The average speed to this point, 216.032. The crew standing by the track side on the grass strip between the pits and the main stretch has the opportunity to call this run off by simply waving a yellow flag. They choose not to do so. They continue to flash speeds to Mario. Tyler Alexander, the crew chief, continues to watch. He is on his 4th lap. Lap number 3 came in at 213.980 miles an hour. Mario Andretti averaging 215.334.
You can watch him running under the white line and the yellow line in the middle of the turns, Paul, and this is an indication that he's got a front end pushing problem. The car is just understeering just a little bit.
Mario Andretti now in the final moments of his qualification run, averaging just over 215, not the speed that we saw in practice. He comes to the main stretch. Will they accept this run? Indeed they will. A bit of a surprise, Bobby Unser, but Mario Andretti completes his qualification run. 4 laps, 10 miles. The final lap at 212.761 miles an hour. The average for 4 laps, 214.692.
That 3rd lap or the 4th lap, Paul, only being 212 miles an hour means that he just does have a front end pushing problem, and we'll hear from Mario when he comes in, but I totally am surprised that they took that.
The crew appears to be surprised as well, as the first 4 official laps are into the record books for the 72nd running of the Indianapolis 500, the time trials at the great Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Mario Andretti.
Live, ABC Sports presents the first day of time trials from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's the run for the pole from the world's greatest racecourse. Hello, I'm Paul Page, and action already underway. Mario's run occurring just about 1 hour ago. A great deal coming up and a real chance that the record held by Rick Mears will be broken sometime this afternoon. But we're going to be here all afternoon. If action occurs here, we'll have it. But it's not only time trials on ABC Sports this afternoon. We have a grand lineup for you. Let's begin by going to Irving, Texas, and Jack Whitaker.
Well, Paul, we've got a lot of excitement here at the Las Colinas TPC course. At the end of the second round in the GTE, Byron Nelson, one of Baja, Oklahoma's favorite sons, was leading by 2 strokes. Ben Crenshaw, just a few moments ago, he teed off. He used an iron today on the first tee. Yesterday, he used a driver and almost drove the green, but this one worked out perfectly for him. Crenshaw was 9 under par at the end of 2 rounds. His tee shot here today, right down the middle. His second shot even better. He had this putt now for a birdie to go 10 under. And that's what happened. He leads by 3 right now, but they're shooting very low scores. Paul Azinger is already in with a 63. Course record may be in jeopardy and a lot of excitement ahead. And now, to find out what's going to happen in today's wide world of sports, let me take you to our colleague, Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Jack,